All right, everybody, start paying attention. Refresh your Twitter screens, X, whatever you want to call it, because there is a player that may or may not play for the Cleveland Browns tomorrow against the Jags, and that will kind of make or break this game for you. I truly believe that could be true, and it's not necessarily great news, but you may just still sneak in just in time the news that you want to hear. So here's what I'm talking about, and we'll talk about why it's so important. Browns wide receiver Amari Cooper still in concussion protocol, but could clear in time to play against the Jags. All right, so he still could be there. If you scroll down in this, what you see is that Kevin Stefanski said Cooper is still in the protocol, but there is time. He could clear today. Like, he could be clearing as we're doing this. I don't know. This might be an old video by the time I post it. That sometimes is just the way sports works, but I wanted to get it out there for all of you. So he may still have a chance to clear. He might be there. But I think it's so important that he is there, and I'm going to give you a couple reasons why. All right, he has, for the first time this season, someone not named Deshaun Watson that can effectively get him the ball with Joe Flacco. Like, that was starting to look good. All right, but that's not the only reason that he needs to be there. All right, there is other reasons for him to be there, and we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about some of the other injuries going into this game. So this is your list of leading wide receivers. This is it for the Cleveland Browns. All right, your leading target getter and your leader in yardage and average is it's Amari Cooper. All right, so, and here's the thing, it's not even that close. He has almost 300 yards more than the next player, who's not even a wide receiver. It's a tight end. He has almost 300 yards more than the next player after that. All right, but here's the thing. Elijah Moore still has 85 targets, but he has almost 300 yards less. That's a big, big difference. He averages 10.7 yards per reception. Amari Cooper averages 16. The long is 59 versus 24. You can yards per game. All right, 42. 59 versus 42. 66 yards per game, 41.8 yards per game. Trust me, I have Elijah Moore on my fantasy football team. Amari Cooper is a better fantasy football option than Elijah Moore. Now, here's the other thing. In the game last week, Elijah Moore got 12 targets. And now, this is memory, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But he got 12 targets and converted that to 4 catches. The reason this happens, I'm not saying Elijah Moore isn't good. I think he's good, and I think he's, quite frankly, been underutilized in Cleveland so far this year. I think he could be better. I think he's a guy that could push for 1,000 yards, and I think he could do a lot of these different things. I think he's been underutilized or used incorrectly. But he's not a number one wide receiver. And the issue here isn't even necessarily that Elijah Moore is really far behind Amari Cooper. The issue is what's next. There is not another wide receiver on the roster that has more than 85 yards receiving. Are you kidding me? Cedric Tillman has 85. David Bell, 45. Marquise Goodwin, 10. Wow. That's the problem. The problem is depth. And you traded away Donovan Peoples-Jones to my Detroit Lions. Thank you. By the way, if it makes you feel any better, since Donovan Peoples-Jones has been here in Detroit, he's suited up for a couple games, and he has exactly as many catches for the Detroit Lions as I do. That's 0. Okay, just to be clear. So, no, Donovan Peoples-Jones hasn't been great for us either, but our wide receiver room looks a little bit different than you. And that's a good time for me to remind everybody, if you haven't seen this channel or you're new to it, we love teams that the NFL seems to ignore. We're Lions fans. We love the Browns. We feel like you're the Detroit Lions of the AFC, but there's a ton of talent on your team this year. It's been just brutal with injuries. Brutal with injuries. Not even fair, but if Amari Cooper is good to go for this game, I think you are favored to win. And let's talk about a little bit furthermore why I can make that argument. I'm not saying you have a small injury report. It's massive. But there's a lot of guys that are on the injury report that aren't even questioned to be playing. All right? Joel Bitonio is playing. Jaron Christian, he is playing. Myles Garrett, he's going to play. Marquise Goodwin, he's going to play. Nick Harris, if he needs to play, will play. Shelby Harris, if he needs to play, will play. I know it's coming off the Achilles. Same with Kareem Hunt. Same with Mo Hurst. Like all these guys. Njoku, Okoronkwo, all right? Teller, DTR, Thornhill. If they need to play, they'll play. And Delpit. The big ones that you have to wonder on are Denzel Ward. Will he be back? Is he ready to go? All right? Cam Mitchell at corner and Amari Cooper. It's really only 3 guys that are like, I don't know. And DeJuan Jones will not be playing. All right? That's it. But when you go to the Jags, their list is smaller. I understand that. It is smaller, but the amount of people out is much larger. Tyson Campbell, all right? Walker Little, offensive tackle. These guys are out. They're just straight out. Brenton Strange, Trey Herndon, Christian Braswell. So Herndon hurts a little bit. But here's the thing. 2 offensive linemen. You have a quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. All right, you have a quarterback in Trevor Lawrence that is questionable. He is that looked nasty. And I did a video for the Jags, because we talk about them on this channel too, where there was a nasty ankle injury that he had last year against the Lions, and he played the next week. Like, the dude heals faster than Superman, I feel like. He really does. But so he's not going to be fully healthy. He doesn't have what has been his number 1 wide receiver in Christian Kirk. He's out. So, yeah, this is a game where, yeah, you guys are riddled with injuries. I get it. They're more. Like, as bad as it might be for you, it's worse for them. All right? They just lost to a Cincinnati Bengals team that doesn't have their starting quarterback. And they played most of the game with their starting quarterback. They let Cincinnati hang around. So if Amari Cooper is healthy for this game, I think you could do some very serious damage against this defense. I really do. If he's not, it's going to be hard to move the ball consistently. You see that. But it was fun to watch this team last week get a little creative with the play calls to try and throw it to other people. Every single week that Flacco's here, he's going to get more comfortable with this offense. He's not a bad quarterback. All right. And quite frankly, when I'm watching him play, he looked like he looked 5-6 years ago, not a year or 2 ago. Right. So I feel like he's still got it, and he was out there to prove that he still got it. He wants to keep playing in this league. So yeah, I think I think it's very, very interesting. But you got a shot. Let's hope that Cooper is good to go. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you like this channel, if you like the Browns, we want to be one of your go-to places for it, for the NFL, for the Browns, for the little guy. All right, teams that the national media ignores. Subscribe if you're one of those people, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.